So I have in-ears, right? So I even look like a news presenter now when the studio is talking to me. So yeah, I'm trying to make it a little bit slicker because you usually have audio bleed, don't you? So it's a bit easier when you have in-ears. It doesn't bleed so much. But I want to kick in straight away to the main show. But before I kick into the main show, I've been thinking about, I'll probably say this in the main show as well, I've been thinking about anticipation and how building anticipation is key for YouTube videos. So how do you build anticipation? So if I say something now, which will build anticipation so you actually follow through to watch till the end, and I'll just cut this bit and put this at the start. So essentially, this is how I almost broke my foot. And then I'll cut that bit, put it at the start, and then I'll use that to build anticipation for a story that I'm going to tell you at the end, or maybe
what I thought you might
later
have
on.
cut it as is just using the word. So I've been thinking about anticipation. Doorstop. just cut the whole thing out so no one even knows where you're going with that word.
Yeah, because I've redone the thumbnails on my YouTube videos to add in more anticipation into the YouTube thumbnail and into the title as well, in hope that that would help kind of just bump up numbers. And especially if you're unknown, for example, you don't have people searching for you or looking for you like generically, like by standard, then you want to build that like anticipation, and not worry too much about the keywords and stuff like that, right? So yeah, I've redone a bunch of it to be like dropping out words or like blurring out words in the thumbnail. So it's like winners don't, and then it's like blurred, and then you're like, oh, I wonder what that is, and then you'll go along and watch it hopefully. So you just have to make these statements. Yeah, it's also bizarre because usually like in blogs and stuff, you front load the conclusion, right? So you say like, I'm going to talk about this, or the conclusion is this, and then you like back up point one, point two, point three. And I think that works for written form, but for video form, it kind of works better not saying it straight away. So some of my videos, I'll say like the point straight away, and then you'll be like interested to watch it or not. But I think I should change it and just do anticipation rather than actually doing it the front loading, which you do in a written format. So let's see if we cut in that anticipation kind of story, and then I don't tell the story till later, then hopefully the people won't drop off at this point either. Yeah, I'm probably going to forget to say it. And then it'll be like, in the next video, I'll tell you what the story was for this video if you watch the next one. Anticipation. So
nice.
All right, let's kick into the episode. And then, yeah, I've got a couple of topics that we'll probably end up speaking through, and we'll see what's what, see where the waves take us.
I've got some feedback as well.
Oh, yes. So, and that's how I nearly broke my foot. And we got some feedback from the from the barber, Sam. Sam, right? Sam. Yeah. So.
Don't be a doorstop. Don't be a doorstop. Don't be a doorstop.
Welcome to another episode of Doorstop. Thanks again for giving us some of your time. Today, I am out in the field as a reporter because I'm holding my mic, or at least it feels like that as well. At least there's no like fish that's going to slap me in the face because it's windy here. That's what I'm glad that it's not happening. However, we may be interrupted at some point.
I might just text Kimler to throw fish.
She's actually out. It's okay. I may be interrupted not by fish, but by a delivery that I have to go and get because it'll be a toilet. And the toilet fits into a really good story. Yeah, that's the anticipation. When is the delivery going to come? So put your bets in now. Is it going to come in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes? Yo. It's been a while. Yeah, I thought I'd come back on. Thanks to Tom for the encouragement to come back on and stream. What's been happening? I've been at a festival this weekend. Drummed with Kimmer, which is great fun. Went with no problems whatsoever, which is great. And I was like, actually, I could do with doing more music stuff. I fancied to do some more music stuff. And then I saw this. Let me just jump over to it so you can see it as well. This track here. Listen to that. Hopefully you'll hear this track when I play this track. Listen to this. how great is this? It's like trap. I love the kick bit, the quick. Now it sounds kind of similar to something that I've been doing. So I recently created an actual Spotify. And I named it Dan Diego. And funnily enough, there are other artists called Dan Diego, so it screwed me over because my music turned up in their profiles, which may have given me some extra views, to be honest, extra streams. And I did a track called $1 Million Payday. I wanted to basically get into this momentum of creating quick tracks and follow stuff that is trending on TikTok to see if I can get people to use these tracks in TikTok and so forth. There's a popular track right now called $1 Million Baby. So I was like, well, $1 Million is pretty cool. I'll just tag something else on it. And then what happens regularly? Well, you get paid regularly. So I was like, let's call it Payday. And then I just sang on it and did the track. I think hopefully this will actually... that's my popular one is the instrumental. So I'll play the proper track for you first. Will this work? Hopefully this won't get cut out. It's really, really simple. But then when I heard this, I could do like a trap $1 Million Payday. Like a trap version of it, which would be kind of cool. But then I was like, actually, I really like the sound of the song, sound of this trap stuff. So maybe this could be inspiration for something I actually make. And I was like, oh, I'll put my MIDI keyboard in front of me, and hopefully we can do a track together, maybe. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping that I'll be able to do for you a little bit today. I just can't remember what application I was using. Is it Soundtrap? Yeah, I think it was Soundtrap. And I was just using free version of it. I wonder if I switch my screens so you can see what I'm doing. I think what's annoying with OBS is like I can't create a new scene without, like, privately without you guys seeing it unless I have... Is it that I have like preview mode on or something? How do I do that? I can't remember how to do it. Studio mode. So I think if I'm in studio mode and I switch, will it actually hold? Yeah, and then I have to press. Yeah, that makes sense. And then I have to press it to go back. Cool. So that means I can build a new screen. I'll do my laptop one. I'll duplicate this. I can't duplicate. Oh, I think I have this weird bug. I can't right click on stuff because I can't duplicate this scene. I can't right click on it. Which is annoying. Unless I stop the studio mode. Right, can I right click now? No. I should have done this beforehand rather than building it on the fly. But okay, well, I'll just use this screen over here then. I'll just pinch it in. I've got the ratio, the aspect ratio a bit wrong. Pull it up from the bottom. so you can see everything. What did I do here? I don't know what that was inspired by. It's nearly done, this track. Will it come back in? Dum, 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 dum. It's coming back to me now. And it just repeats. I think I wasn't happy with the like the samples, but the rhythms are good and the melodies. This cowbell's riding hard. That's another thing I found really difficult is the velocity of the keys, because I think I was doing it on my laptop, so I couldn't modify the velocity in any way or have some consistency, because I was actually pressing my keyboard to put the stuff in. I wonder if finishing off that song would actually be better use of my time, but let's look at the TikTok. I want to see the TikTok stuff. There's a TikTok library. Is it this? It's like trend discovery stuff. Yeah, so I sometimes look at this and I look at the songs, see what's popular, but I don't do last 7 days. I go for like, so like, yeah, $1 Million Babies. So I then create $1 Million Payday. There was something called, yeah, this one's a popular one. But I think I was kind of like taking it as inspiration. I was possibly taking it as inspiration for this, to be honest. I can't remember. Don't remember, but I'm just gonna start a new one. So I really like this. Now, another thing I did, I think this. I think I did it in the key of D, or at least starts with a D, because it's down. Here you go. Let's get this MIDI keyboard hooked up. It's not working right now. There you go. I'm sure this sounds like it's in D2, or at least so if I switch that to D, what's the tap this. Tempo. I got this like tempo up. Tap it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's right, innit? I'm on the offbeat because it stopped. Wait. $164. Let's bump this up to 164. Can I just do this? Oh yeah, cool. Go from the start. Why didn't you loop? Oh, as I stretched it. Loop? Yeah. There was that really nice kick. Is it something like that? Oh, it's actually later. It's like at the end before the next. Is it there? But. Yes. I put one. Oh. What did I just do? What did I just do? I wanted it there. Notice that. Sometimes what I like doing is put on all these separately as well. Okay. Why won't you play? Oh, it's because as you can see, I don't really play chords. Just play notes. It's because I think as a bass player, I think. Let's switch this to a bass. Oh, I got some new ones. Oh wait, I just realized, why is that all coming out of the speakers? Surely it should be this. Yes, now I can hear it in my in-ears. Okay. It was intense. Oh. Just got new ones for the trial. Could key change. Let's go down one more. Oops. I'm just messing.
As you can see, I just like, as soon as you get a groove, you can just like ad lib a bunch of melodies over the top, which is a lot of fun. Dum 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 dum. I wasn't sure. Mm-mm. Boom, boom. I want to know if there's other things in here. Oops. There's like a bell. There's like a ding. There's like a matching with the drums. There's like a. It's not a ride bell, but I just want to. Can't even hear that. Maybe that doesn't have it in there. Ooh. It literally doesn't have a bell sound. I'm going to get rid of this. It's addictive. This percussion. Oh. They only have that one, do they? I'm sure I used oh, won't let me open it in a new tab. I'm sure I used somewhere in here like a bell thing. Ping. Okay. So what's this then? Leeds popcorn. Oh. could do like a super, super high. Let's play it. Let's go with a high. I always like duplicating, and then cutting out. So let's just go for the kick in this one. Put you back up here. Go on. Yes, kick. I thought I deleted these. Did I not? And sometimes just even, duplicating the track is. Oh, that's a little distortion. Okay, I won't do that just yet. Oh, shift delete. All right, I'll be back in a second.
We stayed over in this nice place, which has a notice above the bath to say this bath has been coated with anti-slip paint. Now, I think that's the stupidest thing ever, because it still was slippy. Because lo and behold, one of my worst nightmares is like slipping in a bath, knocking yourself out, being naked, and somebody has to like rescue you. Isn't there some like film where that happens, right? Where you just like KO naked, you can't hide yourself, and it's like maybe it sounds like a Kevin Hart sketch. Oh, is it something like that? Where you
Pass, and it was the oh wow, that guy. Oh, what's he called? Blonde head guy.
And is he naked, or is he like knocked out?
No, he's not naked, but he's in a sauna. But then the two guys that pick him out of the sauna is naked.
Oh yeah, they're like naked, right? Yeah, because he basically I remember the scene. He's in a hot tub. He sleeps in the hot tub, so much so that he literally has no muscle capability to like get himself out of the sauna. And then he's like, help, help. So he is kind of still conscious, right? And then two naked guys come over and like help him out of the hot tub, right? Well, thankfully, it didn't require the latter part for me. But I was in the shower on this anti-slip bit of the shower, which is stupid. Got out of the shower because I realized my face wash was left on the side, as you do, very carefully. And I didn't lower myself low enough to like lower my center of gravity. And then stepped back in. And as I stepped back in, my feet like literally left from underneath me. I kick the toilet. So my toe is like purple.
It's poo and purple.
It's poo and purple because I kicked the toilet so much that it cracked and poo. No, I didn't. So my toe is purple, and my inner leg. So pretend you've sat in the bath with your leg still out the bath. So my inner thigh is bruised, and my shoulder blades are all bruised. And I'm like, thankfully I didn't hit my head and KO myself, because I was like, I don't want to be like wake up to be like some hotel staff trying to like cover me up, and, you know, like while you're naked
clean around you.
Yeah, it's the worst thing. Like, it reminds me when I went to hospital for like cutting my like Action Man part, right, the upside down Action Man part. The nurse was like, "Oh, I didn't realize the left is lower than the right." And I'm like, what kind of a thing are you going to say to a kid, right? Yeah, you're like a 12-year-old kid, and some like male nurse comes in and comments on your junk, which is never helpful, never warranted at all. So I was like, flashbacks to be like, is somebody going to come in and I'll be knocked out, but I'll actually still be able to hear them commenting on my junk, be like, oh, no wonder he slept or whatever, you know, like stupid stuff. But yeah, thankfully, I was able to like get myself up and unlock the door, because Kim was like, what was that massive bang? I was like, yeah, it was me falling. I did knock my head, but yeah, my worst nightmare didn't come to
Were you able
pass,
to move okay?
however.
or is it just bruising?
Yeah, it was just bruising. I basically then had to. The show must go on, so I had to drive to another gig and do the second gig. I wasn't playing, thankfully. If I was drumming, I probably would have like skipped out on it. But yeah, walking is a bit sore on my left foot because of it being my toe, but it's not broken. So I'm like, cool. It's just character building, right? So if it's not broken, it's character building. So yeah, that was my
Was it drumming?
story.
Drumming in the first gig?
No, I thankfully wasn't drumming in either of the gigs.
so just
it was
the
just the
driver this time.
roadie. Yeah, the driver, the roadie, the sound guy, the muscle guy, stopping those fans from jumping. So yeah. So that was my story of slipping in a bath. So I hope it was worth the anticipation.
Worth the wait. We'll find out. Message and find out. Comment.
Like, even holding this microphone is making my arms hurt, probably because I'm still sore. It's just as if I've pulled my muscles across all of my like back, essentially. But yeah, I'm glad I didn't pull my neck too much, even though it hurts to do this still. But it's like the classic thing, like, doctor, it hurts when I do this. And he's like, well, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it. Like Nike say, do it, but we're going to say don't do it. So if you're out there today in a hotel, be careful of those baths that have been labelled as we've been painting this with anti-slip. It's probably lying to you. But
Was it
It
someone
is
that
what it
just
is.
changed it when really it was like we painted it with slip paint rather than just someone's like, I'm going to put anti in front of it.
I don't know, but it reminds me of like, you know, when
Sure, it wasn't a lick sign that someone just.
yeah, they were just testing out the paint to be like, oh, it does work, but somebody left it there. Yeah, it reminds me of, you know, when Homer Simpson is like in the bath and Bart Simpson comes in and breaks a chair over his back, and Homer's like, what did you do that for? And he was like, oh, it's because his friend's dad like took a chair to the back and was fine, kind of thing. Broke a chair over his back, and he's like this strong guy, right? And he's fine. So he wanted to do it over Homer, and Homer's like, like, why did you do that? And it's like, that's literally how I felt in the shower, like slipped, smashed myself, like, why did you do that? Like, so I just had myself to blame and gravity because I didn't lower myself enough. So
Don't slip in showers.
yeah. So on that point, stay safe, and until next time, keep hammering those nails. Bye for now. There's a lady getting her hair done. There is a guy getting his hair done. And if the lady doesn't like you, if you're rude or whatever, then it'd be like, next. And then it's like, right, you got to stop the haircut. So you'll have literally half a haircut. And that would be super funny.
The modern version of shame. Shame.
They've got to be respectful and actually be interesting and be like thoughtful. Otherwise, they're going to have half a haircut. So I would say that
And
that
the joke
teaches
is,
like good
It's
manners.
just a ChatGPT voice on the other end.
Let's go. Right. I have some really good. Well, I have a big announcement to make, so I'll make the big announcement at the end, so you can hang on till the end. But I really enjoyed watching your extra YouTube video.
Thank you. Stirred up the comments. Comments from you, Dave Logan, and some random person.
Yeah, I think it's good. Any sort of interactivity is good, isn't it, to some degree? So
Yeah, and that's the thing is I was trying to create shorts from the first video. And for some reason, I was struggling to download it, so I thought, oh, stuff it, I have to do a second video. But then what I've done is I've had this thought that I've been dying to do is create a long form video, create it into shorts, chuck everything onto YouTube, and then just schedule the shorts throughout the week. So then I don't need to think about it, and just to see if anything traction, put low effort just to see if it's more of a traction hitter. I've not even reviewed some of the clips, so I don't even know if they make sense.
I was trying to. So I did a couple of native like recording in the app to see if recording in the app would give me better reach than producing something separately and uploading. And I just did one sentences because I was hoping that like a one sentence or a couple of sentences would loop a lot, whereas it doesn't go anywhere. So if you record something too short, they're not taking it anywhere. So it's literally 5 seconds, which is like it's 2 sentences or a sentence. And on TikTok, it wouldn't go anywhere. So it's like 5 views. But all my other stuff is like 100 plus. And then on YouTube Shorts, it also has like single digit kind of views as well. So I'm like, yeah, I should not do just one-liners. But I was thinking like one-liners, like affirmation-y type, like statements. I thought that would actually work, but it doesn't. So I'm like, cool. You need to get it a little bit longer.
Just do
and then it works well.
one-liners and then just sit there. Because I remember, I don't know if you were there on the craze of, if you watch my TikTok for a minute, I can pay off my mortgage or whatever people were doing.
Oh,
Were you
no.
there for that?
No.
So it's basically what they were doing was the retention of people basically sitting there for, it was either a minute or 5 minutes, basically would give enough people to pay for surgery, pay for someone's mortgage, buy food, whatever, because their interaction with their video would be massive. What they didn't know
Right.
was I think you need either like 10k followers or 10k likes before that kicks in. So it was basically just another ploy of rich people become rich, because it's loads of people like, oh yeah, just follow me. And one guy was like, I really need to pay off my student loan, and I'm going to do that if I get 100k of people watching this for a minute. But because I don't have anything else to say, I'm just going to eat my bowl of cereal. But please stay with me. And he literally just eats his bowl of cereal right next to it.
Yeah, that's funny. Another thing I quite like about TikTok is
You should just be caught out as if you're having cereal, and it's like, "Huh," and then say one liner, and then just go back to eating cereal very slowly.
yeah, especially when if you can hook somebody in, like, what's going on here, what's going to happen. So if you can like start off with an activity, that's why they always blend, like Minecraft videos, they blend some sort of like activity with it, or like like the women doing their makeup, like girls doing their makeup, and they're telling you a story, wherever, like you're hooked in because they're like doing something visually, and it's kind of like progressing through as well. It's fascinating. One thing I noticed on TikTok recently is like, I like their interaction with 2x, so you can speed up videos, right, just by holding down. I like the fact that they chose to do it by holding down and not by clicking and changing it to 2x, because that means for a fact that they're still watching, because they're literally, for a fact their fingers are still on the screen. So I'm like, very small, intricate interaction difference, but very, very clever.
Yeah. I find it funny because on Instagram, if you hold your finger there, it pauses it. So if you switch in between the apps, they do completely different things.
Yeah. And it's all about, for them, they're trying to just get retention of like, how do we know that you're actively on this app or not? And I think, how like it automatically scrolls. I think I've noticed like that stuff's not happening so much now, because you want it to kind of like play, and then you scroll it. So then they know the user has done that interaction rather than it automatically doing it. But yeah, it's very, very interesting. Very interesting.
Very interesting.
Well, as a caveat, if you hear lots of banging and stuff, thankfully there's no banging now, but later on, if I make any jumps because they're banging, they're basically bulldozing through into the hall now, because the staircase is going to go in tomorrow.
Oh, excited. So is it got an outer skin layer thing, I'm guessing? And working on
so it's all like done on the outside. None of the internal walls or none of the kind of like insulation and stuff has been put in. They're also waiting to put in the windows, because the windows are too heavy to kind of like pulley up on a rope. So they want to put the staircase in and then walk the windows up the staircase. So it'll be interesting. Tomorrow the staircase is coming, so then they'll be able to put the windows in once the staircase is finished. So
I was going to say, I'm surprised they're not doing staircase till last, but that makes sense if they actually need it.
Yeah. And also it kind of is like, once they've done the staircase, they can then work out where the inner walls are going to be. So then from there, they do the next walls in. So it's like they want to figure out the outer shell, but they want the staircases in. So then they can figure out the outer shell, and then the internal walls will all be measured off the back of that.
They can't just do it perfect and then knock a hole, create stairs, boom, your room's there.
Yeah, it reminds me of like, have you seen those like
Maybe
diggers?
That should be a business, actually.
Yeah, those diggers that dig tunnels. And you're like,
oh, yeah.
We've lined out exactly where we think the digger's going to come through. And then the digger, like, because it's got these like diamond cutter things in the front, right? This like circle thing, tunnels. And it literally comes through like perfectly, like maybe slightly off to the left or slightly off to the right of like where they've estimated that it would come through, because they're all like laser precision stuff. I'm like, that's fascinating, because you're like literally miles underground, to be able to like perfect it.
I wonder what the market is for, how you have prefabricated like offices and studios and all that to chuck in your garden.
Yeah.
Imagine if you had prefabricated roof rooms, like lofts conversions that you literally just, we know exactly what angle it should meet and how wide the perimeter is. Slam it all, chuck something on here, bolt it along the edges, done. Like, that would be very fascinating.
Yeah, that would make a
It's
lot
like
of
adding
sense.
a hat. You'll be basically creating hats for houses. That will be the business.
And what you could have is like if it could extend in the middle. So, for example, like these houses are like hundreds of years old, right? So, if you built a house which had this ability to like extend from the middle out to the sides, so you build it slightly smaller, and then you have like a couple of centimeters either side that you can like push it out, so then it fulfills like right to the edge, and then you just like seal it around the end. Because what you wouldn't want is like you build it, you layer it, you like drop it in, and it's like there's a gap. So you're like, oh, because everything's a little bit like dodgy and a bit off. I remember like for work experience, I worked at this architect's. I won't say the location, so you don't know, but in North Wales, this architect's place, and we went around laser measuring a house, right? And then you basically come to like some CAD, like computer aided design, like application to like draw out the floor plan. And essentially, as you do the measurements and map it out, so you start with one end and you do the measurements according to what you've done, like according to what you've measured. And then you're hoping that the two lines now will connect to each other because you've drawn it like a square, right? If you draw the squares and you hope that the two lines connect, right? Because that's what it does in real life. Well, funnily enough, it doesn't. So you're like, okay, you have to like tweak the numbers to kind of like get it to kind of connect at the end point. So I'm like, this is bizarre because I think we were using a laser measure to measure the walls, but it might be that, you know, maybe the wall is like kind of like lopsided and it's shorter at the bottom. The short, like who knows? But I was like, what? This is not done with any precision. This is kind of concerning, but that's why they caveat all these drawings, right? Like things are estimations and all this stuff. But so yeah, now I'm like, cool, it's just a rough guide. So really what you want is the real space in real life to measure it, to like fit things in rather than going off like guessing. So when you have like internal walls in a loft, really what you want to do is measure from the external walls, because those external walls are like correct, right? You don't want to just be like, oh, I think it's in the middle here somewhere, and you want to always measure it like off the two walls to get it right. I'm glad I'm not a builder to some degree, because I don't think there's enough like precision as such. But then I'm also like, if you are a builder that are super into precision and like good at it, then you can steal the competition, right? Just be like very, very good at that.
I guess the difficulty with that is your perfection is your time, and your time is your costs. So then no one wants you. Or just the super million billionaires, and then as long as you get those clients, then you're sorted. But if you don't, then you're screwed.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, it's interesting. Well, on the YouTube video front, thanks for commenting on mine. I was like trying to edit it last night to be like, cool, I need to get another episode out before tomorrow, before we record. So, and the reason why I look so tired is because I've been up like 2-3 a.m. the last few nights because I'm on like this creative hype. But I'll share more of that in the actual pod when we get started. So I think I've got 3
You
things.
must be knackered. I wouldn't be able to do.
Okay. While I have been away, I was also doing some of this stuff. So I've changed it a little bit. I've changed the samples, but I'm not sure if I'm happy with this yet. This reminds me of that. And then I was thinking, I quite like this. I'm a bit off. But then I was like, what's the gospel dun dun, because they usually walk up dun 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 dun. And then I was looking at I found this. they also have these like stamps in it. So I just googled gospel praise progression in D. It's too quick for me. That sounds familiar. I can't remember or and the R. It's Kanye West, isn't it? Jesus. Sounds so good. I also just split this out into kick-out snares and stuff. I was wondering if there was a quicker bit here. Don't follow the beats. maybe a... I think I want it to start with I'll do that later. Maybe I should go back to the machine ones. What's that? Tacky, was it? Catty. Doesn't sound very... can just listen to this on repeat and it just blends into the abyss. I'm not sure if I should do this. Right, you can just play like this forever. There's something about E. It's probably this kick. I think it's like tuned to that. Oh, it'll repeat. Oh, no, it didn't. What was I playing? Dum, dum. I'm gonna keep it in D. Dum, 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 dum. I think I still had notes in there from before. Let me just clear that out. It sounds flat. It doesn't sound distinct enough between the kick. Probably was on this before, wasn't I? 2 seconds.
This guy, I have to call him, but then he doesn't pick up his phone. So like, how could you do that? And also, could you have price fluctuation? So like Saturday is the same price normal, but you just do it cheaper non-Saturdays. So for example, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, it's like 10% cheaper. And then Fridays and Saturdays is just normal price. So it's not that they're more expensive. It's just like you discount the bits so you get more traffic at those parts or something.
Yeah, that's interesting. Discount on, yeah.
Because all you want is
peak times.
Yeah, you want consistency, and you want so you want like regulars and all that stuff, which happens, but you want like to fill out the gaps and also just like cash flow, like planning. So can you get it up front, and also then can you have like more consistent of like having people in the non-hours, as it were, and also like late hours. Could you like stay open till like 9-10 o'clock, just so like Wednesday night, you know how shopping things they do like till 10 o'clock? Could you do just Wednesdays? Because for me, I'm like, sometimes I don't have time. For example, banks are always open in the daytime. As soon as people finish work, banks close, right? Or there's a rush on the banks to go and get it before it closes at 4. Like no one's around at those times. So could you do like Wednesdays, you open late in the day and you stay open till 10, so you could have like late night haircuts. And at that time we have like night mode, which is like, okay, there's a bit more like club music and the lights are like dimmer or something. Like I would really enjoy that. And it would be fine, because who cares if you have your haircut at 10 o'clock? You're still going to have like 2-3 hours before you go to bed, right? It's not like, oh, you've had your haircut, it's all styled, and then you're literally going to go to bed 10 minutes later, you know?
But with that night mode, whilst you were talking about it, I was actually thinking of that could be like a dad mode, especially if you've got a young one. You put to bed at like, let's say 8, 9, I don't really know the times of stuff. And then you've got a section that you're like, oh, I'm free to do stuff, but let's say I don't have the energy. Well, going to a barber, okay, it's a very simple task, but something's getting done for you. And then it's
like a
not
sensory
too
mode.
strenuous. So then you can, head to bed or whatever. It's not like you're working out.
Isn't there like, don't shops sometimes do it like in the morning? They used to do this in COVID, I think. They did like this sensory mode where they dim the lights and they don't play any music. And it's like 1 hour from 9 till 10 or something. So people that don't want, stuff to kind of like stimulate them, like low stimulation, you come in that time. It could be that you come to barbers and they have like a silent hour where basically, don't worry, we're not going to speak to you like at all. And you come in and be like, so it's similar to like a silent carriage in a train, right? Of course, people still speak on the phone on the train, but if you had like this low sensory, like we're not going to be too, and you have this like 0 touch points kind of thing, right? You're just paying on your card beforehand, so you don't have to do all that stuff. Like low, no music, silence, or even like nature sounds, or like just like white noise or whatever, like a low sensory thing.
And then the other thought that I've got, that's very good, is creating a podcast. So if you had, I guess, asking who's willing to jump on the podcast, and then you can talk about topics either regarding just being a husband, a dad, a brother, and all those types of sort of topics, or just
especially
going outside and
that was what I wanted to say as well, because you said the whole business thing. Why don't you get people to come in, and if they sat on a particular chair, they know that they're okay going live, right? So it could be that they live stream all the time and it's muted at this one chair. And then when somebody sits in the chair, like gets unmuted, and that person's getting a haircut, and they're allowed to pitch their business. They're allowed to rap. They're allowed to do spoken word. They're allowed to sing or whatever, and literally perform to the camera. So this barbershop would essentially be giving them bonus reach or like a bonus audience because they've like turned up. And then you could get like semi like celebrity-esque people to come. They have the haircut and do like a performance, right? Think of like COVID gigs. All that stuff was pretty interesting. So you could be like, at 8 o'clock tonight, like I was going to say Pavarotti for some random reason, but like at 8 o'clock tonight, this local celeb is going to get their haircut. So we'll be live streaming it, and they're going to tell us their backstory, or they're going to tell us, or they're going to introduce their new film or whatever. I think that'd be like kind of cool to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, like an interview chair. So
yeah, and I think these are all great ideas. And I think the thing that keeps coming back to me is it's not the ideas are slim, it's more which way you want to take it. Because if you
Absolutely.
want that, people opening up, well, some people can open up on a podcast and that can help a lot of people. But if it is that, no, people they open up secrets that I don't want to share vibe, then it's sort of doubling down on the care and the, I guess, the privacy side of things. And it's going, okay, what does privacy look like? Is there a way of making, like you're saying, is not being portrayed that you were at this barbershop in bright lights whilst you're crying? Is could you make it a more less obvious space? Maybe even change the name to the confession, the confession box.
And maybe you actually do blur the faces, right? And you do like obscure stuff. It doesn't need to necessarily be that you're out and about, because again, people might know you. And if you did it where you blur them and you also distort their voice, like maybe they'd be fine doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think another thing is like, because I'm so focused on like, people are already getting their haircuts from somebody else, right? So essentially you have to just be like more interesting and better.
Right. Where were we? Sorry, I had to grab the door. Zoom in. Feels like the first one was like slightly late. Not slightly early. Whoa, whoa, whoa. See, with all this stuff, you realize that like you take one track as inspiration, then over time it just like shifts and changes in your own head and in your own mind until it like sounds something like you want it, like you like a sound that you like. But if I just come up with a loop. Wonder if I can go with the. I wonder if it can track that and if I just roll cold. Ah, missed it. One, two, three, four. I forget that if. Will it have done it? I'll do it on one. I have pads on my keys. I have like pads here, so if I just tap it, I was tapping it on both 2, but maybe I should tap it on 1. Just playing around. I knew there'd be a tambourine somewhere. This. Sounds like a great snare. One thing I don't know what to do is how do I change? Let me just play again what the... Let's just go. I need 2 bars and I also need to hear you click. That's really why I'm getting thrown. 2 bars. Oh, I need to get cramp on my fingers. That. Dig-a-dig, 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 dig-a-dig. Something goes wrong here. All this is literally just gut feeling. Sometimes the pause there. I'll be back in a minute.
Let me tell you my secret. So to reward you guys for watching so far, we're coming up to like an hour mark, which is great. I'm enjoying the fact that we're almost doing hour pods. Back in the day, it'd be like tough to think we could speak for an hour on a pod specifically.
Yeah. With each other.
Yeah. Can't be putting up with you for that long. No, I always like chatting with you. I have produced my first ever song that is actually going to be on Spotify. So my artist name is going to be Dan Diego. And what I've done is I've taken, I'm using TikTok as inspiration. So things that rank high on TikTok, I'm using those as inspiration to write my own song. So my first song is inspired by $1 Million Baby. My first song is called $1 Million Payday. I've recorded all of it using, I think it's called Soundtrap, which is essentially an online web version of like audio software. And in the background, you'll see that I have like a MIDI keyboard and stuff. And I've recorded it all. It's all my voice, all my rhythms that I've programmatically put in. And I'm trying to get it. So I'm using TuneCore to submit it. And what I'm hoping to do is sync it to things, aka get my music on TV and film. What I want to do
is the Instagram.
I want to
competition. You and Kimmer. Who can get on the most tracks?
Who can get synced first? I then want to start doing. I want to do a sync song that gets synced to Welcome to Wrexham. I want it like there's something called like Swagger Rock, I think it's called, where it's like like all this like clunky, clashy kind of like sounds, and it has that kind of music in Welcome to Wrexham. If I can do something with the lyrics of like As Strong as a Dragon or something like that with like Red Dragon in it, I think they'll use it because it has this like Welsh side to it. So if I can come up with something, and what I wanted to do is there were only 1 minute. I did 30-second kind of like thing, and then I duplicate it. So it's kind of like it's 1.5 minutes because I duplicated 3 times, or like have 12 bars or something. So I'm trying to just do these little things and see if I can get things going, because you only get paid after listening to 30 seconds on a Spotify track. So if you made a track that was 31 seconds, great. So it happens to be because of musically, it needs like it needs to go up and it needs to come down vibes. I've done it 1.5 minutes, but it can be looped, so you can loop the track as well. So the instrumental sounds great. So when it's out. Right now, it's been blocked because I needed to add some extra metadata that they specifically required me to do because I've remixed it. But I've also done something else. It's not 1 track, it's 6 tracks. And the reason why it's 6 tracks is because for 6 figure. Oh, I might have accidentally done 7 tracks. The original track, then I've done an instrumental, so that's 1 iteration, right? So I wanted to show people like you build something once and you can use it in multiple ways, in the same way of long form video. Long form video, you chop it up into little bits, right? 1 track, instrumental, sped up version, slow down version, sped up version, instrumental, slow down version, instrumental. Oh yeah, it's 7. And then I've done a reversed track. So from 1 track, I've got basically 6 additional tracks off the back of that. So I'm like, again, I just want to show people, if you look at Cardi B, Meg Thee Stallion, you'll see that they're doing like the cutting edge kind of like trends of stuff. And they did sped up songs, they've done slowed down songs, and they've even done a cappella songs. Now it makes more sense for them because they're rapping. But those songs are getting plays in the same way like ages ago. You know when we said YouTubers should make second channels and just naturally port over the audience. So now they get 2 views for the price of 1. We mentioned not too long ago that Twitch streamers got second streaming channels, 2 streams, like your 1 streamer now makes 2 views. Same with music, 1 track. Make it. I could probably do an acoustic version of it as well, right? And it comes up with multiple versions. So I'm just experimenting because there's a fact. 80% of artists on Spotify have fewer than 50 monthly listeners.
Okay.
That's like so much because like Spotify.
Is that 50 individuals or 1 person listening to 50 times?
I think it's individuals. I think it's individuals, but like 80% of Spotify, I think there's like 8 million songs on Spotify or something like that, or is there 8 million artists? I can't remember now exactly, but like there is. Oh, sorry, yeah, it's 8 million artists. So there's 8 millions on artists on Spotify, and actually no, there's actually less. There's more than 8 million because one of the facts are 8 million artists on Spotify had released fewer than 10 tracks in their lifetime on the platform.
And 50% of the time, Dan gets his stats right all the time.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, actually, it's Oh wait, I've cut the quote wrong. I think I've copied it into my document. You see, I think it's of 8 million artists on Spotify. How many have had fewer than 10 tracks in their lifetime? The answer, 67%. So I'm like, if you can make more than 10 tracks, then you basically, so it's like what almost like 2/3 of all those 8 million artists. If you make more than 10 tracks, you are basically ahead of like 67% of the competition. So I've already made, from one track I've made 7. So I'm like 3 away from like equaling 67% of Spotify artists. And like, you don't realize how little it takes to just get on par, you know, with like predominantly, because again, we get put off by, we always compare ourselves to Drake, right? Or Beyonce. And like, well, of course they've got like 13 albums or whatever. It's like, cool, you build up to it. But most people have less than 50 listeners a month. And also 67% of all the artists on there have fewer than 10 tracks.
So you're going to give a live review on your channel?
Actually, yeah, I'll play the track and be like, this is an interesting track. But also what I thought, I could use the track as my podcast track at some point. So then I could get royalties for it. So again, create your own stuff. It doesn't take long to like programmatically put in a song. You could then get royalties from that song being used in your own YouTube video. However, your YouTube video would not make money because you can't monetize it, right? Because there's a copyright strike. But if you balanced it, right now I've got like not enough views, not enough subscribers yet to monetize. So could you initially do it like that, you use a track and you get paid royalties on the track, then switch it to use a different track where you get paid for the views. So using that intellectual property, right? Like for different parts of your journey up. So yeah, that was the secret thing.
Watch this space, I guess.
Yeah. I should have done Dan Diego like anonymously, but I'm like, cool, I probably will end up directing people there anyway. So yeah, it's fine. And have a listen.
If it is your podcast song, then
yeah, people will start to know who it is, won't they? Which is not great. But yeah, and on that note, keep hammering those nails. I think it's a good time because I think there's going to be lots of building noise about to happen right now. So thanks again for watching. And Sam, please, like, we'd love to interview you about how you've initiated your TV channel of your interviewing Make the Cut. Until next time, keep hammering those nails. Bye for now.
Bye.
So I've got 5 things to speak about today. So 1, loneliness. 2, AFK, which stands for away from keyboard. 3, cleaning.
I thought it was the airport.
No.
But okay.
Yeah, it's JFK. An AI comment and option trading. So I'm going to spin the wheel, and maybe I'll edit in a wheel spin for the show. Yo.
I'm going to try something different today. I don't know if this will be a good thing or a bad thing, but we'll find out.
Well, first things first is like the recording started, so that's good. And secondly, I think I have the right audio now, so it should be coming through my microphone, which is good. I'm trying to download a spinning wheel application.
Oh.
To see if I can.
I'm trying to put you on the big screen so I can look straight
like
ahead.
projector
the camera.
vibe.
It'll make my life easier. It's amazing what blankets can do. I'm just throwing it over all the rubbish behind me. Is this going to do loads of noise by me doing this? Okay, I'll have to ditch that idea. How's
that
it
works.
now? Can you hear me okay?
I think I noticed that I also turned up my volume on my microphone, so hopefully this week I'll be a little bit louder than other weeks, potentially.
Hopefully. I had my hair trimmed today, especially for the pod. Not really,
nice.
but I'll say it's especially for the pod.
I should have noticed, but I've not been looking at the camera properly yet. So if I had been looking at the camera, then I'd be like, oh, very nice. You have to also speak at the same time that you spin, otherwise nobody will see you.
La 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 la.
Perfect.
La, la, la. There you go.
And you're on the green hype as well, which is good to see. I'm inceptioning you with the aquas and the greens. I'm wearing blue today, so I'm wearing your colour. Although red's, well red and yellow. And
This is, I think, turquoise.
right.
Meant to be. It looks a
So
bit
we're
more
in the
green
aqua
out
world.
on the video image.
Right, I can't remember my password. Oh well, I'll leave it for now.
Apparently, Thingy Bob's got new updates. Riverside.
Interesting. What kind of updates?
I don't know. I have instantly
The
forgotten what they all
teleprompter
are.
stuff.
But no, that apparently they brought out new updates. I spotted on YouTube on, I think they're shorts.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe it's a long form video, but it was like a 2-minute long video of everything that they brought new. I did try and look at it slightly earlier, but then I forgot what it all was. I think some of it's branding. So now you can update a background color rather than inserting an image. So then you can select a color.
Yeah, they're all little improvements,
like
which are
small
good.
tweaks.
Because I think even, down in the bottom, you can edit the name of the individual now and put a job title and all that stuff, which is good as well. Or like a title.
yeah.
So,
Oh, that was it. Yeah, you can do that in here now.
and I guess it's more so when you're doing like a live stream,
Before.
because when I download the actual video, then you don't see any of that stuff because I edit it myself, don't I? I don't bother putting any names in.
I wonder if this live types it. I've just written co-host.
It's not updated from my side yet. Oh, there you go. Yeah, it came through.
Oh, we might be able to. Yeah, apparently you could add that I've forgotten about, and I think you might be able to edit it, so we might be able to change it to blue to match branding. Or
Yeah,
grey.
change the style of it. What I find is a bit annoying is they keep on saying like, cool, so we've upgraded to this version, which is like the AI version with all these AI tools. But then now they also want you to pay another $15 to get the branding ability or something. So they're still holding back little things, which is just a little bit like irritating. Just give me one price all in and just like bump me up to those tools.
Yeah, I think it is hard. It feels like they've added an extra. Because I think it was free. Oh, I feel like I'm a bit delayed.
It's
currently.
okay.
It was free, then it was paid, then it was business. But now they've added like a solo paid, a team paid, and then like a business.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Today I have 5 things for you. And I was like, I wonder if there's a way to do a wheel spin, but I can't download the app and my phone's taken. So is there like a online wheel spin?
There must be.
All right, there's an online wheel spinner. If you just Google online wheel spinner, there's one in Google. And I wonder if we can just change it to wheel size, and I need it to be 5 numbers. Okay, cool. All right. I'd like to be able to include this in the stream, but I don't think I'll be able to because I can't show it to you. Oh wait, maybe I can do it on my iPad.
You could do share screen.
Let me do it on my iPad by navigating to the website, and then we'll see it.
Okay. One thing that I'm surprised, I'll talk about my bugbearers of Apple. Why can't you do continuity camera with the iPad? Because technically my iPad is newer than my phone.
Yeah.
I would love to do continuity camera with the iPad, using it as the camera instead of my phone, so then I could actually use my phone right now, because that would be really helpful. Fair enough, I know it's people on the road assuming that you don't have the iPad with you, and it's just your laptop and your phone, but you literally can do everything else with the iPad. Why can't you do that one other item?
It's that lock-in.
Or that you can link it up to your watch and be like, oh, just like a camera that you can see on your watch. It's like, why can't I tap into that? It feels like they only do the ecosystem at certain points rather than why don't you actually do the ecosystem to spread over everything, and then it brings more value to all the items again.
Write a strongly worded email.
Has that killed enough time?
No, it hasn't. There's so many different wheels that have like different settings, and sadly, the one that loads up in Google doesn't show properly. But because I can't open it to big screen, but nonetheless, in some ways, I kind of want you to spin the wheel, but we're going to spin the wheel, and we have 5 topics. So I'll just headline you in. But before we start, I'll just kick in with the intro. So roll the tape.
I feel like this is proper delaying right now. Me and you.
You're
so
perfectly fine
hopefully
on my
this is
end.
post.
So I think you should be fine. And it's one of those things.
I wonder if it's the AirPlay. I wonder if it's fine on the laptop, but the AirPlay's slowing it down.
Oh, right, because I'm actually on your monitor, on your projector. Yeah.
TV.
Let's run it. Like, we keep on having problems, but we still get there in the end, don't we?
Don't be a doorstop. Don't be a doorstop. Don't be a doorstop.
Welcome back to another episode of Don't Be a Doorstop. You're here with your regular hosts and co-hosts. Yeah, we're both hosts, aren't we? Dan Ryland and Tom Ryland. If you have not subscribed to our individual channels, jump over to Mr. Tom Ryland and Real Dan Ryland and subscribe, because we are basically, Tom is doing 100 videos in 100 hours, right, Tom? And then I'm doing...
I've already failed on that,
okay.
but yeah.
Well, we'll come to that in a second. And then I'm
Yeah.
I'm basically doing my solo videos as well. So I've published 2. So how many videos have you got up there so far, Tom?
So I was hoping to do one before the pod, but I couldn't download the video because I was going to do a short instead of a long form
Nice.
video. And Riverside let me down whilst I was trying to slot it in before doing the
Oh,
pod.
shame.
So I've still got
Well,
one.
there's still enough time. Maybe before we produce this one, you publish it. So then it'll still look fine. So by the time this comes out, you will have 2 videos out of your 100, 98 to go, basically. So I've got 5 things to speak about today. So 1, loneliness. 2, AFK, which stands for away from keyboard. 3, cleaning.
I thought it was the airport.
No.
But okay.
Yeah, it's JFK. An AI comment, and option trading. So I'm going to spin the wheel, and maybe I'll edit in a wheel spin for the show, but then I'll have to make sure that it actually lands on the numbers that we talk about. So I've got in Google.
Could you not do screen recording?
Maybe I
Or does that
could,
look
but
a
it's
bit
so
lame?
small. I'll need to switch to an app. So maybe I'll pretend that I'm pressing an app and it'll spin to a number, but I'll just do it here. So I'm going to spin the number. Ding. Number 5. So number 5 is options trading. So do you know about options trading, Tom?
I know it's some form of getting on the stock market, but that's as much as I
Yes,
know.
correct. So they essentially, it's a financial instrument which is tied to the share price going up or down. And there's things called calls, which is a bet on the share price going up. And there's a thing called put, which is bet on the share price going down. And they have leverage. So if a share price goes up a small amount, then the leverage is like usually 1 to 5. So an option price will go, or the value of the option will go up a lot or go down a lot if the share price goes down. So they're kind of like exponentially more movement when there are lots of movements with share prices. And people typically buy them before earnings, which is when a company will declare if they've made more revenue this year than last year, or more revenue in particular industries or sections or like departments of the business and stuff. And basically the US government obviously create policies which sometimes help businesses or hinder businesses. And the, like, I don't know what they're called in the States, but they're like members of parliament, right? They have to document when they've purchased shares and options. Not only do they have to document it, they have to document it if it's their spouse or if it's their children. So there's a lady called Nancy Pelosi, which is a very, very famous Democrat lady. And she has these documents, which are called periodic transaction reports, PTRs. You can find them online. They're public. And all they are is just whether or not they've bought shares or sold shares. Now, people think it's her that's trading, but it's actually not. It's the husband. But people always think it's Nancy Pelosi. So there is a Twitter account that tweets out every time she's bought shares or sold shares, and they're tracking her her portfolio. And she's better sometimes than other companies or other ETFs, as it were. Her performance is better sometimes. So I'm like, cool, can I keep an eye on what she's purchasing or what she's selling? There is a delay in when they buy versus when they actually put in this kind of like transaction report. But could you track it to buy options and stuff? So, for example, she bought the husband bought a call for NVIDIA stuff, right? And has won massively because that was before it went up, and then it tracks, oh, it's gone up. So it's really fascinating. So the husband does option trading, and you can see exactly what options and what strike price and stuff that they've bought at, which is really interesting. Now, the UK have something similar when they have to declare financial interests, but they're not necessarily declaring that they're buying and selling options or like doing trades at certain points. You'll know from Company House that they own different parts of companies, but you won't necessarily see what their actual individual like portfolio looks like. So if you're into options trading, if you're into stocks and shares, trying to find these periodic transaction reports to kind of give you an idea as to what's going to happen in the market due to like policy is like an interesting tactic, essentially.
That's interesting because that name, I've already forgotten who you
Nancy
said.
Pelosi.
Someone said how they're buying stocks, the same stocks that she buys, but I didn't recognize the name whatsoever, and I didn't understand what they were talking about. But that makes more sense now. What they were talking about is it was a podcast, and it was a bunch of American. I thought it was more of a comedy podcast, but it must have been just a clip out of whatever they were talking about. They were talking how it mirrors what she buys, but it's probably
So there are AIs that mimic her thing. So the Twitter account that's running and tweeting out what she buys is matched to a trading platform, I think, that automatically does it on your behalf. So when they see she does something or the partner does something, or like the husband, it will buy it for you. And it also tells you roughly between a range. So it'll say like between 500K and 1 million, like Apple shares have been bought, or like Apple options with this particular strike price and this particular expiry date. Because usually options will expire and also degrade over time. So if there is no sharp movements of the stock, then essentially it starts to get devalued as time goes on, because they usually have like a week expiry or a month expiry, or you can have longer ones, but usually in the platforms that you get, they're like a particular set time. So yeah, if you're interested in options trading, I use Plus 500. It only has a subset, so you can't choose any company. You can choose like 5 or 6 out of the big 5 or 6 companies. You can purchase calls and puts.
So have you changed that? Because weren't you on a different
Yeah,
platform?
so I was on Free Trade. So that would be for generic, just buying shares and specifically ETFs. However, for like option trading, ETFs, Free Trade don't do don't do options. So that's the kind of like one of the platforms that you can use to buy options. There are others. I'm not sure if Trading 212 does it as well, but again, caveat, like just be willing to like lose all your money basically if you're going to do it.
Because I think I did have Free Trade for a little bit just to trial and mess about with stuff, but then I got Trade 212. Only because it says that it has a section that you can basically have fake money to trial
The functionality.
I guess it's like turning the functionality into a game to figure out what works and doesn't work, and it gives you that, I guess, more playful way of doing it. But I've never actually got around to doing it, but that's what I thought was really a very clever way to someone that doesn't understand it, is could you just trial with different companies to know what you're winning or not, in a clever way of logging your, I guess, portfolio.
Yeah, it's a good way to learn. So many different trading accounts have like a demo setup where it's fake money. So they'll give you like 40K to play with, and you can use that to learn and kind of understand and kind of do the kind of like gut guesses of whether or not something's going to go up or down. I recently did buy an option, a call option for Apple before the event, which then I sold it too soon. So I sold it at a loss. But if I would have held on, the next day it rocketed up. So I'm like, it's a shame, because when I literally prayed before the event started, and I felt I heard the word hold. So I should have held it all the way and then prayed just before closing it out, because that could have also said hold. And if I would have held, then maybe I would have been, I definitely would have been up. I sold too soon, thinking like, cool, The event's happened and gone. Like nothing's moving.
So how much do you know the percentage of how much you'd have gained on that?
I think it went up like 1,000%, or something insane like that. It went up like a lot. But obviously, I came out before it happened because I was like, cool, it's just going to carry on going down because people are unimpressed with the Apple AI stuff. And everybody was saying, you know, typically you buy the hype beforehand and then like sell it before it happens. But I kind of like came in late, hoping that it would happen in the event. But this is why you got to be willing to lose.
But I think that's the thing is, I think where it sometimes does a bit of a boost is when they release it to the public a couple of days later, and then the public then find out actually how intricate all the things that they didn't mention. And sometimes there are some hidden gems that you're like, oh, this is way more useful than it actually sounds like. They've left stuff out, which then I guess gets another bump.
Yeah, it's always difficult to know between like the typical kind of like the typical day-to-day investor.
I could have took a cut on that.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
that was my
you've
advice,
got
wasn't
to
it?
cut on zero. Yeah, so minus. But
Minus.
now I'm
hear
like
you.
waiting for the next event. The next WDC is obviously in a year's time. We obviously again have like the earnings reports, but typically the earning reports are a bit like flaky, so it's a little bit harder. But there you go, lesson learned. Pray before
I
you
can't
sell.
quite tell if it'll go. Yeah. Have you heard about the latest? I don't know how true it is. I've just heard it on socials. The latest, is it patent? A patent or whatever you call it. And they're basically looking to see if you can do brain scanning with like AirPods and stuff like
Oh,
that.
interesting.
Which I just thought was really interesting. It's like if they could tap into when you're focusing or not focusing or whatever, and mapping that with Siri 2.0, it'd be so fascinating. It's like, you're really tired. Your Apple Watch's heart rate's going down, so go for a nap now. I've closed the curtains. Right, go to bed. And it's like, in a weird way, but having so much technology and information, I wonder if it'll pull away from the human experience of just figuring it out and test and trialing, which I guess is a good thing if you want to be like an elite athlete, but to some extent it'll be a high performance prison because it'll be telling you what you need and what to do. And I guess for people that like to hand over that control to something else, they'll be absolutely loving life because it'll tell it what to cook, eat, sleep, whatever. But those that like to wing it and to like, I guess the element of faith.
All right, we're back in. This is really working. That vibe.
that really staggered bit is working for me. Doesn't always work this for some reason. Oh, it's that way. I want to try. Can I move all this? No, I can't. Okay. I want to try moving all of this 2 bars. Moving this 2 bars. And just looping that. Right. I want to go from the start. Let's bring this in. Let's go for 1. Oh, it's because it's recording. I'll just do a rough take. Whoops. Oh, 2 bars then. Not 3, I need it 4. Do I need it over? Yeah, I need it 4 bars. I did it accidentally. Did 3 bars, didn't I? Oh, and I accidentally recorded in there. That's wrong. I need it to include the 4th bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. That was kind of cool. That was kind of like by accident. I'm a little bit off. It's just on the offbeat. It's interesting, but I don't think. that'll be the finish. Let me just do it in this bit because I'm not quite. Oh. Mm. Gotta put a key change in there. Dum, 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 dum. Okay, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. No, you need a click for me. Forgotten actually what the rhythm was. Okay, let's do that again. Mm, 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 mm. Oh. One, two, three. Dum, 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 dum. Ooh. Ah, I think I need 2 bars here. Maybe it's because I'm missing a. I'll let it slide. Oh, that sounds good. 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. That was a bit off. Almost sounds like a guitar, like plucking. Ooh. that's how it ends. It's funny, isn't it? It's completely, look, the inspiration track. It'll sound nothing like this now. And this is where it's got to. That's out. One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do like this. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that bass. That's that was crazy. Oh. Oh, yes. Mm. Okay, I need to record that in because that sounded dope. Mm. So nice that bit. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize it was blending in the background. I want that little bit at the start. So if I duplicate, oh, this is a copy of kick anyway. Kick. Where did it just go? Where did it just go? Oh, did I delete it? To be more interesting. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1. Like a push here. Is it there? It's just earlier. blew your ears out. That's a bit off. Oh, you didn't like that, did you? Overloaded. Uh-oh. Cancel. Let me just reload. Oh no. This has screwed all my thing. Oh, this sounded better before. That's all like crushed. What happened? Oh, classic. Okay, it's mixing. Let's see. I hope that's not just screwed over the effects. Shouldn't do. I'm gonna give a praise. This does not sound the same, surely. It sounds like muffled. Oh, okay. It sounds like out of tune. Hey, hey, hey. Praise. How about if I export it? And then just see if it brings back the quality. It's the trouble with using free tools and not paying for the full thing. I can't revert. But it's worth it because I managed to do all this for free, so it's good. Preparing. Slow. It's only like what, 37 seconds. You know what? I've almost used the same melody, haven't I? Almost. Yeah, this sounds awful. It didn't sound like this before. Awful. How about if I duplicate track, get rid of this? There you go, it's better there. Okay, well it works in the mastering, but it doesn't sound right generally. But well, time for a bit of a break anyway. I've probably been streaming for nearly 3 hours. Maybe we'll go up to the 3 mark, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, this is definitely off then, isn't it? That does not sound right. I wonder if it's got like cached sounds. Right. Well, thanks for joining along. See you later. Bump, bump. Hopefully I've got that song stuck in my head now, which is good. If I'm singing it in 4 hours' time or tomorrow, then it's a good one to carry on with. All right. Bye for now.